Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my vlog. This is my life. And this is my life. I am sitting on my bed with nothing to do. Why do I have nothing to do? It's 2:06 p.m. I have nothing to do. I live in a room. I have nothing to do. Now, you're probably saying, well, it's a nice autumn feeling day outside. Why don't you go outside? It's not that easy when you struggle with agoraphobia. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, for those that don't struggle with it themselves, is what is agoraphobia? I mean, I hear people talking about it right and left, but what is it? All right, so I'm not one to want to stay inside. Growing up, I was always outside. As I got older, I was still a person that loved to be outside, loved taking walks, loved nature walks, loved just getting out into fresh air. But you're probably wondering why now somebody that loves the outdoors is now agoraphobic. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure how it came to be for me to be an agoraphobic person. And I think it stems back to when I first left back in 2001, when I first was able to escape living with an abusive alcoholic. I wasn't dating this person. I was just trapped there because during the pandemic in New York, we had lockdowns and people were not moving and people were not renting. So when I broke up with my ex, I was still forced to have to live with him. And you're probably saying, well, couldn't you went to family, friends? Well, when you don't have family and you don't have friends, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You're going to stay right where you're at. So skip ahead. I met, well, we worked together before all of this because we worked together in 2019. We started working together as my current husband. Well, we had decided to start dating at that time, and that was in 2020. He moved in with me, and then 2021, we were able to get secretly an apartment, and that would get me out of the house that I was living with my abusive ex. So we moved into our new apartment, which I really miss this apartment, but the sad thing is that the rent went up like $300 after we left. So we would not even be able to get back to living there. I mean, even two incomes wouldn't even get us to be able to afford to live there. I don't even know how people are affording to live there. What kind of jobs do they have? Well, anyways, I think the fear stemmed from the fact that he always said that he would find me if I left. And it wouldn't be pretty if he found me after I left. So I had a fear that he was going to find me. Even though the apartment complex that we moved into is very secure, you had to buzz in order to be let in. You know, you buzzed the apartment number, and they would get on their intercom, and they would buzz you back. Even though it was that secure, I was still afraid that somehow he would find his way beyond that security and get to me. Well, eventually I started to feel a little better about being there and thinking to myself, he's not going to find me. He's not going to find me. And if he does find me, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Nothing. I have a baseball bat. Believe me, he ain't going to do nothing. And he knows I have a baseball bat. So it wasn't as bad as it is now. But the thing is when I came off of Somebody's starting a vehicle. When I came off of all of my medication, well, when I first came off of Xanax, okay, I came off of my benzodiazepine. I'll explain more on what led up to coming off that. Something triggered in my head because I was no longer being controlled by medication. I was starting to think a little clearer. And another thing is because almost half of my life I was on medication, I had no clue what it was like to be an adult. Because I started getting on medication in 2009, and at the time I came off, it was 2021, and that meant that I had been on medication for 12 years at that time. And that felt like that's almost half my life. Okay. I didn't have much of an adulthood when I got put on medication because I graduated in 2000. And when 2009 came along, I was 28 years old. You may say, well, that's some of your adulthood right there. It's not. It's not. I really did not get to start my adulthood. I had obviously I had 3 children at the time, but I was not able to have an adult life because I was medicated almost half my life. And I don't know what triggered it and what caused it, because I sit and I try to figure out what caused me to have this fear of going outside by myself. Never have I ever had a fear of being outside by myself. So that brings me to, what is agoraphobia? And this is for those that don't know what agoraphobia is. What is agoraphobia? Agoraphobia is when a person has a fear of going outside of their safe zone. Okay? And usually your safe zone is your home. Now, when I first became agoraphobic, I could not leave my apartment. It was even hard for me to go downstairs and get the mail. It was awful. I couldn't even go downstairs. I was having problems going to do the laundry downstairs. It was awful. Well, anyways, it didn't matter what was going on with me because I had all these other symptoms that I was fighting through because I was coming off of medication. And I will talk more about that in another video because I want to just stick to the agoraphobia. Now, as time went on and I got further off the medication, I was able to venture out into a yard. I couldn't go too far, but I was able to venture out into a yard. And that, being agoraphobic, that is actually pretty awesome to do. There's some people that for years, they're not able to leave their home. And that's what agoraphobia does to you. It causes you to isolate yourself inside your home or wherever you find your safe zone. And like I said, 10 to 1, it is your home. So I went out of the safe zone and I was able to go into a yard and I'd be able to walk around a yard. And that's when I started doing content creating, was helping me to venture out more. And with my content creating, I went outside and I was able to do things out there, and it kept my mind off of what I was doing, being outside of my safe zone. So I kept doing that as it's kind of like an exposure therapy. But then there was a situation where we had to move to the city. Okay. And that's before we moved to this place here. We ended up moving to the city, and me being a country girl, I need country. I need woods. I need open fields. I need yards. I need to be able to see nature. Whereas when you're in the city, you see buildings. You see a bunch of cars. You see houses that are so close to each other. My mom used to say that houses in the city, you could stand on the roof and jump from house to house. That's how close they were. No, you can't, but it's just her way of saying that houses in the city are very close to each other. So here I am, country girl, still trying to, wrap my brain around, trying to get my life back, trying to recover and everything, coming off of these prescription drugs. And here I am in the middle of the city. And it's not even the greatest part of the city, it is the ghetto. It's a very bad part of the city where there's shootings, homicides, you name it, robberies, criminal activity, car accidents, like right there, which caused me to not even want to leave my room. And it just was, we were living in a room then too. And when you live in a room, it's a box. You're living in a box, okay? When they say things outside of the box, okay, this is what I'm thinking of. I'm inside the box, so I got to think outside the box. Well, anyways, it made my agoraphobia worse again because I did not want to leave my safe zone, even though that was not a safe place to be either. I didn't want to leave my safe zone because of all the crime and everything that was going on outside that door. And me being a country girl, it's not something I want to deal with. I'm used to quiet. I'm listening to be able to hear. I'm used to being able to hear nature. I'm not used to hearing vehicles going by, people arguing in the streets, people flying down one ways. That's not something I was used to. So we ended up having to bounce back and forth between the country and the city due to a situation we had going on. And I always felt better in the country than I did in the city. So my agoraphobia I was able to work on when I was out in the country, but then it would go back to being bad the minute I got back in the city. Well, we ended up back out in the country for a little while, and my agoraphobia was not as bad. I was getting out more. I was walking down the road. I was going to a park. I was doing more things outside. I was able to walk down the road to where my husband worked. I was able to walk around a little bit more than I was before. And that right there is really good. That, even though I didn't get too far, I still was able to leave my safe zone, which eventually that place was not a safe zone. I will tell you more about what happened there later, just not right now. And then, because of a situation that went down at that place I was telling you about, we ended up living in a tent. And then we ended up right here where I am today, in this room, in this place. And if you watched my video from before, you know exactly what type of place I live in. So I'm on the second floor here, which means I'm not as close to the front door as I was at the last room we were in, which made it easier for me to say, I want to go outside, just step outside for a second and then step back in. Here I have to go out my room, go downstairs, and then go to the front door. And that seems like a little too many steps for me. And I wanted to try to do exposure therapy, but for some reason I cannot wrap my brain around what needs to be done. I'm more depressed. And my depression is a little different than other people's depression because I'm able to do things, but then I'm not able to do things. I still don't know what's going on in my head. I don't know what's going on. It's just I'm battling my mental health problems on my own. And I will explain more of that, why I am battling that on my own. I'll explain that a little bit later. But when you suffer with agoraphobia, and bring my camera up a little bit more so you're not like staring at me all weird. See, the problem is the camera's down here and I'm up here. So I have to lean in to kind of counteract it. When you struggle with agoraphobia, it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of you because it feels like you've lost a part of you. It makes you feel like you lost the person that you were. Now, once you get your strength to say, I want to get over this. I want to face my fear and I want to get over this. Right then and there, that's when you start thinking of exposure therapy. And you're probably saying, well, what's exposure therapy? Exposure therapy is when you expose yourself to the elements that are causing you to panic. Because people, people that have agoraphobia, whenever they leave their safe zone, their heart starts racing, starts palpitating. It feels like their heart's going to jump out of their chest. They get the light sensitivity. It's like they start getting headaches and whatnot, and they start shaking, start sweating, and it's like they just want to turn and run back to their safe zone. Now, when you're doing exposure therapy, there's going to be some times where you do run back to your safe zone, but it takes baby steps to get you through your exposure therapy. Now, what you do is you got to set up a plan. You got to set up a plan of what you want to do. What do you want to do? How do you want your exposure therapy to go? You schedule, okay, I'm going to do this for this long, then this for this long, and then so on. And what you do is you make sure that you have somebody that would be like your coach, somebody that's there to help you. When you first start out exposure therapy for agoraphobia, it's going to be scary. It's going to be really scary. Now, I wish I could do everything that I'm getting ready to tell you, but the thing is right now I am not ready for it because I'm at a different level right now and I'm going to get there, but I'm not there yet. But I've been there before, so I can actually help those that do struggle with agoraphobia. So what you do is take the first step of walking out of the door. Go out that front door. Okay? Just stand there. Just stand there. Breathe in the air, listen to the sounds. Just stand there for about, if you can, 5 minutes. Stand there for 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes if you have to. And then turn around and go back inside. Okay? That same day, you're going to try something else. You're going to step off the steps, step away from that doorway. And now you've left the safe zone. Get off the property. Don't be on the porch or the front steps, whatever. Get off that part of the property. Now you're away from your safe zone. You're off your safe zone. Stand right there for the 5 minutes. Like I said, breathe in the fresh air, listen to what sounds you hear, and stand there for 5 minutes. Try to stay there even try to stay there as long as you can. And then once you feel your heart racing, head back to your safe zone. Now, we're going to do that a couple more times each day. Do that. After a week, you're going to do something different. You're going to walk away. Now, make sure somebody is home or with you while you're doing this, okay? That way, if you panic and you need assistance, somebody is there to help you. That way, if you yell, there's somebody there. You pick up your phone, somebody is there. Right, now here is where the different thing comes in. After your first week of doing the 5 minutes of going outside, standing, breathing in fresh air, and then going back in, you're going to go back outside. But this time, when your heart starts racing and you feel that panic, you're not going to turn around and go into that house. You're not. Or wherever your safe zone is. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to try to talk yourself out of what's going on. Say to yourself, my safe zone's right there. I am safe. Nothing is going to happen to me. I am fine. Keep thinking of that to yourself while your heart is start racing. Breathe in. Do not start trying to do breathing techniques because that'll just make you hyperventilate. Okay. I hate when people say, oh, try to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. No, you're going to hyperventilate, honey. You are going to hyperventilate doing that. Stop telling people to do that because they're going to hyperventilate and it's going to cause it to be worse. Now, if you get to a point that you cannot calm yourself down, go back inside. Go back inside. Okay? But you cannot keep running from it. You eventually will have to fight your way through those heart palpitations, that rapid heart rate, the booming. Okay? Now, after you've done that for a week, we're going to go a little further. And remember, you still have somebody that you're able to call or somebody that is with yelling reach. We're going to go to the road. If you have a road right near you, we're going to go to the road. Okay? Stand there. Now you're a good distance away from your safe zone. You can see your safe zone, but you're a good distance away, which means you're going to literally have to walk back or run to get to your safe zone. Stand there. Don't look at your safe zone. Just keep looking ahead of you. And breathe in fresh air. Listen to the sounds. Don't think about how far away you are from your safe zone. Because if you think about how far away you are from your safe zone, you're going to start to worry because you're not that close to your safe zone anymore. If you have to, just picture that you're still in your front yard. Just keep looking around. And you still have a person inside if you need them. Now, here's where it gets to be tricky. And you will need to have that person that is your coach with you. I want you to try to take a walk away from your safe zone. And you're going to take your coach, your buddy, whatever, with you. Okay, they're going to walk with you. Do that a couple times. Do it a couple days. Walk with your buddy. Just walk a good distance away, maybe to the next stop sign, 100 yards away from where you live. Just walk. Or just walk as far as you can. Okay? Just remember that if you do start to feel panicky, the person that's with you is going to have to leave you to go back and get maybe a vehicle or something, or get somebody to help or talk you down. Agoraphobia is not a joking matter. People think it's so easy to get over with. It's not. It is not easy to get over agoraphobia. Now, do that a couple times. Walk in with your buddy, your coach, the person you're with. Here's where the hard part comes in. Is after you've done that for a week, here's where the hard part comes in. Okay? You're going to do that same walk. Probably not as far away, but you're going to do that same walk by yourself. By yourself. So make sure when you do that, your cell phone is fully charged. Make sure you have stuff that you need with you. Um, if you do take medication, make sure that medication is with you. Make sure you have something to drink with you, some water. Make sure you are prepared for anything that is to happen. This is where a situation is going to become scary for you. This situation, I almost lost my stand there. See, the problem is I'm on a bed and my cell phone's on a stand and it's not like the sturdiest. As I was saying, this part of the exposure therapy is probably the hardest that you'll have to do because you're going to be by yourself, walking a distance away from your safe zone. And the best thing to do is get earbuds, get earbuds, headphones, whatever, AirPods, whatever you have, get those, put them in your ears, listen to some soft music, instrumental music. I listen to instrumental Christmas music or soft instrumental music when I'm walking to help me stay distracted so I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that agoraphobia is going to be cured overnight. That if you do all these steps, you'll be cured. If you're lucky, yeah, maybe you will be cured. But there's people like me where it takes time. It takes time. And it's hard for me to hear people say, "Oh, you should be over this by now." Or what do you have to be afraid of? Gotta fix my stand here. All right, I'm just gonna carry it. I'm just gonna carry it. Bear with me. All right, we're just gonna hold this. We're just gonna hold this, okay? Because I'm on a bed, I'm moving around. I like to fidget, so we're gonna do it this way. And remember, I have tremors in my hands, so we're not gonna worry about if it's shaking. Okay, so it can take time to recover from agoraphobia. Some people don't even recover, but you get better. You can get better. Okay, you just have to have willpower to get better. And for those that it takes years to do, I understand. I understand. I'm going on almost 3 years off of my medication, and it's still hard for me to just walk anywhere. If I do, I make sure that somebody's here. Somebody's here. And especially living in the city, I don't trust anybody here. I don't. You can't. You don't know the people, so how can you trust them? Agoraphobia has been probably the worst symptom, one of the worst symptoms that I have been dealing with. And it's one of the symptoms that I wish would go away because I feel like I don't have my life when I struggle with agoraphobia. And it seems like people put me down because I'm not able to do things that I used to be able to. People put me down because I panic whenever I leave what I call I have my hands are all occupied, my safe zone. It's not easy to struggle with agoraphobia. And that can lead to depression as well, as I've learned. So, if you know somebody that struggles with agoraphobia, Don't put them down. Talk to them. See if, they'll talk to you about what fears they have. And if you are somebody that struggles with agoraphobia, know that you're not alone. You're not alone. There are many, many, many millions of people out there that struggle with agoraphobia. You're not alone either. You're not alone. So, with all that being said, I hope I explained what agoraphobia is. And if you have any questions, you feel free to shoot me a comment. And I should have an email address in my description. I will double check that. If not, I will put the email address that I used for my podcast. I will put that right in my description, and you can easily email me on there. Um, if you follow my Facebook account, that is for my YouTube vlog, you can message me there. Um, I'm all over social media. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Snapchat. I'm everywhere. There's probably not a place you can't go that you wouldn't find me. I mean, not going to find me in dating sites. Definitely not going to find me there. I'm married. But I'm saying the regular places, I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. Believe me, I am not on Twitter. I go on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. That's not a place to message me, but I do have a Twitter account. I refuse to call it my ex. But like I said, I have Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. I have multiple TikTok accounts. I actually have a TikTok account for my vlog. So yeah, just get a hold of me if you have any questions. And even if you don't have any questions about today's video, you can talk to me about anything. And heck, you can throw some suggestions at me. And, if there's something that you want to hear me talk about, ask if I understand something, then go ahead. Go ahead, message me. Message me. Because believe me, I've gone through a lot of shit in my life, and I'm only 43 years old. I've been through a lot of shit. And believe me, you're going to learn that I've been through a lot of shit. So, I'm probably going to be doing a lot more videos today because, fortunately, my husband called me and said that he has to pull double today. So, he's not going to be home until almost 9 o'clock, which really sucks because when I don't feel good and my depression's bad, I like to have my husband here. But unfortunately, tonight, I can't. And it's a bummer because Wednesday he'll be here, but then Thursday and Friday he works doubles. So, but I'm going to let you go. And hopefully I hear from some of you soon. And I'm going to shoot on over to my other social media accounts and check to see how they're doing and just to double check to see if I have uploaded all of my videos onto my one Facebook account that is for this vlog. So, bye for now.